Season 10 of the AFLW has arrived. 18 teams start equal. Who will get it done in 2025? Will the Roos go back-to-back? Will the Lions come back for revenge? Will the Crows have a say on the big stage? Or will a few teams have their moment to shine? Like the Saints, who haven't yet made finals before, but the recruitments of Baskaran, Clark and Barr will have something to say. Oh, and of course, the return of the team's best player and star midfielder in Georgia Patrikios. Remember the name, Georgia Patrikios. Will the Pies rise up after drafting the biggest name from the draft in the number 1 draft pick, the young superstar in Ash Centra? Melbourne, is it finally their year to go back to the top where they feel they belong? McNamara flying, Kate Hoare flying, Molly O'Hare arriving. Will the D's go flying in 2025? Or will the Dockers and their returning duo of Kiara Bowers and Ange Stannett have something to say?
Is it Tiger time, led by the best player in the competition in Mon Conti and the player with the booming left foot kick in Ali McKenzie, Ali Dalloway, skipper Katie Brennan? Is it finally Tiger time?
Finally. Don't write off the Eagles. Got the best key defender in the game in Charlie Thomas and the most versatile player in the game and a young superstar in Ella Roberts. With booming young draftees like Lucia Painter, will the Eagles be painting their names as the Premier in 2025? Strap yourselves in. This season is going to be something special. I'm excited. Are you? Let's go!
The 2024 AFLW Premiers, they win by 30 points. Last year, they had the heartbreak. This year, they get the retribution. The Roos have done it by 30 points.
Smaller. Rookie. Having a good game. Here we go. Gonna get another late goal, the Eagles. Dalglish. Franklin. Wrench. Yes, just Wrench. Right to left. Oh, hello. Sorry, Loz Wakeford, I mean. Loz Wakeford. Playing forward this year mainly. Great job, Loz. Another goal for the Eagles. Come on, Loz. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scoops AFLW show. I'm your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops, and wow, what a round of AFLW footy it was. We had some upsets, we had some smashings, we had some surprise results that led to smashings, and some comebacks, including my Saints. After Richmond led most of the game, and then the Saints in the last quarter decided to turn up and actually get the W. 4 points is 4 points, you take it. Richmond, again, haven't won a game, but they definitely put a fight up to the Saints for sure this week. Now, first of all, I want to mention that obviously there was a few bad injuries that happened this weekend of footy. Weekends that happened at the footy, some injuries that happened, and there's a few I want to mention. Bridie Hipwell, right in front of me, potentially has suffered a broken leg, so we wish Bridie Hipwell all the best.
seeing injuries is not good at all. No injury is good to see. And you just feel for players like her in that position. Kalinda Howarth, who we haven't officially heard what's happened, but had a knee injury of some sorts in a tackle as well from Eliza West. So whatever the outcome is for Kalinda Howarth, who's been a fantastic acquisition for the Pies, missed all of last year with an ACL injury. And I'm not going to speculate, but I really, really hope it's good news for Kalinda Howarth, who's having an amazing season and had 2 games this year where she kicked 3 goals, including last week where she kicked 3 goals, 15 disposals, like 6 marks and tackles. However long she's out for is going to be a massive blow for the Pies, but we wish Kalinda Howarth all the best. And an injury that may have come from the game but didn't impact her performance, Alice O'Loughlin has unfortunately suffered a lacerated liver. When you hear of any injury, it sucks. But when you hear injuries like that just sound a bit more serious than the generic footy injury, you stress and worry for the player. First and foremost, you don't worry about the football. That's like a separate issue. So we wish Alice O'Loughlin all the best. And now this could be something that's several weeks, but it also could be several months. So according to North Melbourne on their website, or that they posted recently as of a few hours ago with that Alice is in hospital and expected to be discharged on Tuesday. So we wish Alice all the best. She's an amazing player. Throughout the whole competition, I've been to so many teams, but since North Melbourne always play finals, North Melbourne's a side that I've seen a lot of in the last few years. Alice is a wonderful person, and we just wish her all the best because she had a really good game on the weekend. I was able to capture the last quarter of that game after coming back from the Collingwood game. She played a really good last quarter. So she played the game with a lacerated lacerated liver. So keep that in mind, how brave and courageous it is from Alice O'Loughlin. One of the best forwards in the game. To me, she is the best. She's on the poster of this show for a reason. She's the best forward, in my opinion, in the competition. Has been up there in the Coleman this year, only about 6 goals behind the leader. So Alice is in great form. However long she's out for, she'll be definitely missed for the Roos. The Roos have a stacked side, but Alice is their best forward and she'll be severely missed, and hopefully she's not missing too long. So we wish Alice all the best in her recovery, and hopefully it all goes well. And he's back out there very, very soon. And speaking of Alice, she's a goal kicker. She's in the intro to my podcast as well, along with 10 or so other players. But as I said, the best forward in the game, and this is the goal that I captured when I saw the last quarter from Alice O'Loughlin.
The Brute will play on. O'Loughlin's here. Go Alice. Yes, O'Loughlin. Oh, no, not playing on. Don't know where to go. Get this to the goals. O'Loughlin lining up for the Roos 9th. Sharpshooter Alice O'Loughlin. Never in doubt, Alice O'Loughlin.
So once again, we wish Alice O'Loughlin all the best in her recovery, and hopefully she's back out there very, very soon because she's definitely going to be missed for the Roos. All the best, Alice. Now, the ladder, the Roos are undefeated. They won their 17th game in a row, which I believe includes that draw in there with Geelong last year, mid-season. So Melbourne are second on the ladder on 20 points. They're 1 loss to Port Adelaide. Hawthorn are in third on 20 points. Adelaide are 16th in 4th place. We get to the Crows soon because they're really not been that good. Sydney, 2 losses in a row. They're now 5th on 16 points, along with Carlton, who had a big loss against the Roos in 6th place. Brisbane and Geelong round out the 8 on 12 points. Just in on percentages, Geelong, as West Coast had a big loss, so they're now 9th on 12 points at 93%. Geelong's 97%. The Saints, with their comeback win over the Tigers, are also on 12 points, 87%. They're 10% behind Geelong. In 11th place on 12 points is Essendon on 78%. In 12th place on 12 points is Fremantle on 64%. And 13th, 14th, 15th, all on 8 points. Port Adelaide, Collingwood, and GWS. And in third last, in 16th place, the Western Bulldogs with 1 win on 4 points. Gold Coast is in 17th on 4 points. and the winless Tigers in last place on 0 points, which is a big shock. And that's probably the shock of the season, to be honest. Right. So, we've got a lot to talk about that we haven't spoken about already. Scoop Show's Bang, Team of the Week, AFLW Fantasy Score. I'm going to review the round just gone and upcoming. I'm also going to go through the rising star for this week. Congratulations to Poppy Schultz. I was going to say Bolts. Poppy Schultz from Carlton. Matilda Schultz's sister. But to be honest, Poppy is absolutely killing it in her first year. Kicked a goal on the weekend. She plays as a key defender, but pushed forward when they were getting beaten badly and played really well. Had a goal, 8 disposals. Remember, key position players aren't meant to get lots of disposals. The impact they make. As soon as I arrived, Sophie McKay got a goal, which was from Poppy Schultz. So that just tells you all you need to know. Absolutely deserves this Rising Star nomination this round. I mean, in saying that, I thought Georgie Brisbane personally was going to get it. As she kicked a goal in 10 points. A goal in 10 possessions and like 4 marks. Lulu Field, her own teammate at Poppy's teammate, Lulu Field on debut at 11 disposals as a halfback. Could have been a shout as well. But there was no major standout, so well done to Poppy Schultz for winning the round 6 Rising Star nominee. What a list of names so far this year. This is why I said last year's draft was so damn talented. And Loz Young made her long-awaited debut for the Power. 18 months in the making. The real number 1 draft pick of her draft is Loz Young. Ash Centra is the future of this competition. Loz Young is the future of this competition, and so is Ella Roberts. And I'm told you all, mark my words, Loz Young is in the same sentence as Ella Roberts and Ash Centra as the best young players in the competition. I've mentioned a bunch of others throughout the year, and all the other nominees for the Rising Star are also very, very good. But if you had to put 3 players on the poster and the future of this competition, it is Ash Centra, it is Ash Centra, it is Ella Roberts, and it's Loz Young. They are the future of this competition. And there's still other players running around as well, like Lucia Painter, Poppy Schultz, Sophie McKay. So much talent going around. It's great to see them all succeeding in their start of their careers. Now, also, obviously, there's a lot more as well. Now, I'm going to mix the order up this week. So we're going to talk about my AFLW fantasy score this week. So my AFLW fantasy score this week, for me, it was a score that was solid, but wasn't as big as I was hoping the score would be. I scored 1,354, and my ranking kind of dropped, I think, a little bit. 4,924, which is upsetting in a way. I mean, it's disappointing. I make these trades and then this doesn't go to plan. A few players score low that you were going to trade out the week after, and their price drops like 60k to 100k, and it's just disappointing. And then I had come to a conclusion of my trades for this week. Then Lachlan's injury popped up this evening, so I've had to alter that a little bit. But yeah, and maybe leave a player that I was going to take out for another week. But I'll have to wait and see. I'm happy with the score in a way, but some of my other players did not even reach 100. In fact, I think I only had 1 or 2 players get 100 in my team this week. Luckily, one of them was Marinoff, who was my captain, who got like 150, so that helped. But in the end, not many other players scored 100 or even close to that. Some players that should be getting that, which they're allowed off weeks, but it was just disappointing. So the trades I'm looking at, Alice O'Loughlin will now go out of my side most likely. But now I say most likely because if they come out before the round starts and says 1 week, then I might not trade her out. But we'll have to wait and see. I probably will, and I likely will, and I have right this second, as of right this second. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what I officially do once the round starts. But until then, we'll wait till then. But I'm okay with my score, but I really felt like this team should have got 1,500 this week. But it is what it is. Right. Now, let's now go with the world famous. It's world famous for a reason. Check the analytics. The world famous segment, Scoops. goes bang. Wow. The controversy in the Adelaide Geelong game. Emily Borg was professionally fumbling the ball in the goal square in the back line. It went through the goals for a rush behind, or so we thought, and then it was paid deliberate. And Michaela Bowie got the goal, which put Geelong up by 5 points, and there was no score after that, and there was 5 minutes to go. Were Port Adelaide robbed? In a way, they were robbed. But you also got to remember, they also had 5 minutes to go after that. They kick a goal, they win. We're not talking about it as much. Now, the decision was clearly the wrong one. The AFL have admitted they were wrong. Gee, they admitted they're wrong again. Wow. But here's the thing. The AFL watch all these games, right? They say they do in all competitions. And live. How about you change that decision in the moment? Maybe that's something you need to change. Because to be honest, these admissions when they're wrong, which is rare, doesn't change the result. It's like you're rubbing it in even further. Now, Port Adelaide requested clarification for this, and that's probably why they actually got an answer. And they're not happy about it, and absolutely warranted to be not happy. But they also had 5 minutes to win the game after that, and they didn't score. And that's their own fault, not the umpires. But that was a terrible call in the end. It should not have been deliberate. You know, they're 50-50 when they pay deliberates in general. And this is on the side of it should not have been deliberate. It was given deliberate, but it shouldn't have been deliberate at all because it wasn't. Well, see, it looked intentional, but professionally, considering how they adjudicate it normally, that shouldn't have been paid. That wasn't a big slap from 10 metres out or even in the area where you're allowed to do it with no one there. It was just slowly going over. And it wasn't really tapped over, really. It was just fingertip and all that stuff. So Emily Borg was definitely screwed over there. Port Adelaide were not screwed over in general because they still had 5 minutes to go. So I see both sides. But hey, they played Geelong, who are the most protected club in the league, in the world. So there you have it. Now, the umpiring in the Melbourne West Coast game was no better. Now, there was a lot of frees that Melbourne got that they deserved, but there was definitely a handful that they shouldn't have. There was I counted maybe 6 to 8 frees that Melbourne got. I thought, gee, how they get them? And then there was some that West Coast should have got, which probably accumulated to about 4 to 8 as well. And I'm like, how did they not get it? Separate things happening at separate times. But I'm just like, how? The umpiring in AFL and AFLW is nothing short of embarrassing sometimes, in particular in the AFL, in the men's footy. But I don't know. It just pisses me off when I see umpires make terrible calls and don't know their own rules. If we can see it, how can they not see it? It's just really frustrating, and I hope they really, really, really narrow down these decisions and show consistency, because they haven't been showing it lately, and it's annoying. So to the umpiring in general, they need to lift their game. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Alrighty, it's time for the most popular segment on Scoops channel, on the Scoops channel. It is the round 6 AFLW Scoops Team of the Week. From the back line, the pockets, Mia Gervin and Gabby Seymour. Fullback, Charlie Thomas. Half back line, the flankers, Neve McLaughlin and Serene Watson. Centre half back, Emily Pease. Wingers, Kiara Bowers and Amy Smith. Centre woman, the record-breaking Ash Riddell. 44 disposals, by the way, a new record. Half forward line, the flankers, this year's #1 draft pick and superstar already, Ash Centra. And Ellie McKenzie, who was also a #1 draft pick. Fun fact. Centre half forward, Tay Smith from the Brisbane Lions. Forward pockets, Anne Hatchard and Anya Madonna. Full forward, Eden Zanka. Ruck, Lucy Wales. Rovers, Sarah Goodwin and Zali Golds worthy. Interchange, she's a star, Zali. Interchange, Charlie Rowbottom, Jazz Garner, Ebony Marinoff, Maddie Newman, and Gabby Newton. Emergencies, Ellie Anderson, Imogen Barnett, Ella Roberts, Tani Evans, Abby Bushby, Ash Richards, and Jack Parry. Now, reasons for these selections are about to be told why they are in my team of the week this week. So there's the team right there. I'll just remove that banner for just a second. So Mia Gervin had one of the best individual games I think I've ever seen for a defender. 28 disposals, and in particular, a record-breaking 16 intercept possessions. I believe the record was 13 or 14, but that's been broken in the women's competition. Mia Gervin had 16 intercept possessions to go for 28 disposals. There was like 14 contested possessions she had, but that was amazing. Simply phenomenal. It was a lock. Charlie Thomas at 22 disposals for the Eagles in their loss to the Demons. Now, I mean, the ball was down there a lot, but Charlie was still great. She's a star, Charlie Thomas, the best key defender in the competition, a co-captain now of the Eagles with Belle Lewis. She's a star. Gabby Seymour had about 15 disposals and about 10 intercepts. It was really good for the Tigers in their close loss to the Saints. Neve McLaughlin went back to her traditional half-back spot and played really well, to be honest. Had 30 disposals, had like 10 intercept possessions and played her part. Emily Peace having back-to-back good weeks for the Giants. She had 23 disposals and about 8 intercepts, did really well. Serene Watto from the Saints, had 28 disposals, a lot of meters gained and about 10 intercepts herself. So she deserved a spot in the team of the week. We go to the wingers. Amy Smith was amazing, a goal and 27 disposals. A really underrated winger. And just goes about her business and does so damn well. Kiara Bowers had about 23 disposals, but 21 tackles. 21. She's a tackling machine, Kiara Bowers. If you had to say who is the player that tackles the most in AFLW, it's Kiara Bowers. She's 33 years of age, and she's playing like she's 23. She's just an absolutely reliable player. She missed last year due to pregnancy, and she's come back like she hasn't missed a beat. Absolutely killing it, Kiara Bowers. Ash Riddell, record-breaking superstar. 44 disposals. You can briefly see it in the graphic here on screen if you're watching on YouTube. And by the way, subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I would really appreciate it. Ash Riddell, record-breaking 44 disposals, 1 goal, 1. I mean, a bunch of clearances. That's just Ash doing Ash things. Speaking of Ash Centra, the number 1 draft pick, superstar, didn't play any practice matches, was easing her way into the competition early days and was still doing well in the first few rounds. But the last 2 rounds, Ash has announced herself to this competition officially did it before the draft. Additionally, did it on the draft night by being the number 1 pick. Did it in round 1 with a great debut goal and pack mark. Has had good signs throughout the season, leading up to the last 2 weeks. And the last 2 weeks, amazing. 2 goals and like 23 touches last week. This week, a goal and 25. Playing mid-forward. Making her presence known. And she's a star. Ash Centra. Amazing game. Tay Smith, 2 goals, 12 disposals, was good for the Brisbane Lions. About 8 scoring involvements as well. Ali McKenzie played midfield, but lack of forwards to choose this week. Ali had 2 goals and 25 disposals and was really, really good for the Tigers. And about 14 contested possessions and about over 70% efficiency. And Hatcher kicked 3 goals with 18 disposals, playing mainly forward this year, which is a bit of a surprise, but she did really well. Eden Zanga kicked 5, was on track for a record-breaking 8 goals, but couldn't get there. The influence was well held from a goal point of view after halftime, where she kicked all 5 in the first half. Anya Madonna kicked 2 goals, 15 disposals. Had Anya kicked the goals that she missed, she would have kicked 5. She was everywhere. One of the best on the ground, Anya Madonna. Lucy Wales, speaking of best on ground contention, she was absolutely phenomenal. Lucy Wales, 23 disposals, 29 hit-outs, a bunch of clearances, and Lucy Wales, like her sister Steph, a very, very dominant rucks, and Mim Strom as well. I just want to quickly mention Imogen Barnett was her opponent, who was good as well. she had like 14 disposals, 11 tackles, and like 5 marks, but like 3 or 4 contested marks. So she was also very good. So we can't undersell her performance. But Lucy Wales was simply amazing. Sarah Goodwin, 28 disposals, had like 18 contested possessions and like 9 clearances, and a good amount of score involvements and contested possessions. So Sarah Goodwin, you know, all these gun mids on the bench, I thought, no, I'm sticking to this. Sarah Goodwin was that good for the Crows. Playing midfield this year, she's only 21 and had a really dominant game. And speaking of a young star, Zali Goldsworthy, 31 disposals, like 9 clearances, like 6 tackles. Zali doing Zali things. Zali, the star. Dare I say it, a gold star performance from Zali Goldsworthy. Charlie Rowbottom was awesome. A goal, 31 disposals, a bunch of contested possessions and clearances. Charlie doing Charlie things. Jazz Garner doing Jazz Garner things. 2 goals, 31 disposals, just absolutely amazing. Ebony Marinoff had 33 disposals. Her efficiency probably let her down from making the final starting team spot. She was actually close to not making the actual team, considering how many dominant mids were. They had way better efficiency and impact, but, you know, Ebony was still amazing. Maddie Newman, her teammate, was very good as well. At 28 disposals, like 10 tackles, deserved a spot. And Gabby Newton kicked a goal on 28, playing midfield for the Dockers. She's been a great pickup from the Bulldogs. Another one the Bulldogs let go, who was actually good. The emergencies, Ali Anderson was the next mid. Imogen Barnett was the next ruck. Ella Roberts was the next midfielder, along with Abby Bushby, who played midfield and wing. Ash Richards and Jack Perry were the next half-forward crew that were in contention to be selected. So that's my team of the week. Comment down below what you think of that team. Now, it's time to review the round 6 games, shall we? So, it started on Saturday. Vic Park, Collingwood 30, Hawthorn 39, 5-9 to 3-12. Hawthorn by 9 points. Now, it's fair to say that Collingwood kicked themselves out of the game, but people got to remember that Hawthorn were inaccurate themselves. Anya Madonna missed some goals that she would normally get. Gilroy missed a goal she would get. There's a few missed opportunities for the Pies as well. But people got to understand that, you know, Collingwood lost, not just because of that, because Hawthorn also kicked inaccurately. Collingwood, the effort can never be questioned. And I'm sure that's what Sam Wright's saying to the girls at the Pies. You know, we bloody took it to Melbourne, and if it wasn't for the shot after the siren and the shot from directly in front 30 seconds to go, and we win that game. The Melbourne game, that is. Then the Swans, they smashed them from start to finish. Another team at that point was undefeated. And so were Melbourne at that point. So it's like they're bloody doing well. The Hawks are a side in the top 4 area who I don't think are that good, personally, but they're there nonetheless. The Pies, Sam Wright, their coach, is going to be proud of the way the Pies are going. They're not getting smashed. The Carlton game in round 1 wasn't good enough. But outside of that, they've been pretty darn impressive, and they should be really happy with how they're going and progressing. They're a young side. People got to remember, too, they've missed Bree Davey, their former captain, all year and may not be seen all year. She's absolutely been a big blow, but the midfield crew of Santra and Britt Benici and Ailey Runnels, Michaela Cann, you know, and everyone else floating through there, Carly Remos, Lily Rose Williamson, they're all playing their part in the absence of Bree Davey. And Sam should be really happy with that to show the faith they got in their future if, you know, Santra and Runnels and Michaela Cann, Carly Ramos and co. are pushing through there. Without Bree Davey, Britt Benici is always good and always has been good. But to have all the other younger players and players that, you know, hadn't had much minutes there in previous years or any minutes there are stepping up. Like Ash is the number 1 draft pick and she's the best player in the comp. In a few years' time, no doubt about it, with Ella Roberts and Loz Young, as I said earlier. But, you know, have those girls I just mentioned push through. Let's give him a lot of confidence, Sam Wright. Sarah Wright plays in North, you fool. Scoops. Sam Wright, the coach of the Pies, is doing really, really well. You know, he should be really happy with how they're going. But, unfortunately, they didn't get the job done. One thing I would critique is that last quarter, that last 5 minutes when it was 3 points before Hawthorn got that late goal from Jess Vukic. They had opportunities to get the win. You know, Lauren Butler had a shot on the siren. She went forward from the back line. Lucy Corona pushed forward. So, I mean, I'm never going to question the effort, and I'm not going to question the coaching tactics. They were the right moves, and the Pies played the right way. But one thing, if I had to criticize it or critique it, is simply this. Just lower the eyes. Like, you had the win in the last quarter. Jenna Richardson, Mackenzie Early, Tamara Smith and co. We're just sitting at the back of the pack. Anya Madonna late as well, pushing the back line. Like, you know, man up. Focus and lower the eyes. Either have a shot and go long, or hit short passes, or hit them on the lead. Don't kick it too hard, because they got the wind on your side and it was taking advantage. If I was the coach of the Pies, I'd be really happy with how we played, pushing it to another top side on the ladder. But the last 5 minutes, I would have gone, okay, this is what we could have done better. We should have lowered the eyes, hit targets. If Hawthorn got loose players at the back, like 3 plays each and every time they did this, and it went to a loose player every time for Hawthorn. If it was Richo, it was Early and Madonna and Tamara Smith. Man up. Don't allow that. Make it a 1-on-1 contest or a 2-on-2 contest. Bring the ball to ground. Michaela Canalana Porter and co. could have done the job, and we would be talking about a Pies famous comeback. But we're not. And unfortunately, you know, the experience of Jenna Richardson and Anya Madonna probably outsmarted the Pies in the end. It's a credit to Anya Madonna and Jenna Richardson. I mean, Jenna Richardson hasn't had the big numbers like she had last year as an intercept defender, key position player, more of a running backman than a lockdown. Jenna has shown what a big out she was for the Hawks at the start of the year. She's an amazing player, Jenna Richardson, an all-Australian level caliber player is Jenna Richardson. And the smarts she has separated Hawthorn from winning or losing. Her and Tamara Smith and Anya Madonna, the smarts and the skills those 3 girls have, just shows why they won. The experience got the win in the end. The smarts that they had. Port Adelaide, 40, Geelong 45. Geelong by 5 points. Robbed, not robbed. That's in the past. But Port can be happy with how they played. But Geelong are starting to get their groove back in the women's. You know, Amy McDonald, Morrison, Bowie, Jack Parry were playing really well. But for the power, you know, Matilda Schultz was one of their better players. Abby Dowrick, Shanae Goody. They may get Piper Window back this week, which would be a great acquisition for them. They need these players back. Speaking of injuries, Janelle Hetherspoon, who was their captain, or was their captain, last year. We wish her all the best in her recovery. She had just come back from an ACL, was meant to play managed minutes in the scrimmage matches on the weekend, but I'm going to assume it was at training, had unfortunately suffered another ACL injury at the age of 35. Just had one last year. Look, we're not going to speculate if it's a retirement or not, but Janelle has been a good leader for the Power. You know, they just had Loz Young make her debut after missing 15 to 18 months of ACL injuries back to back. Had a sample match in between all that. Did Loz. But Janelle's potentially played a last ever AFLW game, and her last game will have then been, if it is to be her retirement, on the MCG against the Bulldogs last year, which is a bit of history she can say that she had, that some people will never get the chance to. Hopefully they all do. But Janelle's been a leader for that club, been the captain, been through it all. We wish her all the best. Loz Young on her debut playing as a key forward, played a lot of managed minutes, I reckon, this week. Had 8 disposals, but had 7 tackles. Loz is known to be a good marking forward. Can play midfield as well, but probably ease her way into the comp, play forward for most of it. A bit like what Ash Centra did in the start of the season, coming off no practice matches, and Loz was in the same boat. It might take Loz a few weeks to get a groove into the comp, but she played all right. I thought she did good, actually. 8 disposals and 7 tackles for a tall forward that can play midfield. Played really well, but that just shows, you know, she's easing her way into the comp and already had a damn good start. So, future of the competition is Loz Young with Ash Centra and Ella Roberts for a damn reason. I will keep on saying that until others keep on saying that, because that's what I think. But yeah, that's that game. The Power couldn't get the job done, unfortunately for them. The next game to go through is North Melbourne and Carlton. 79 the Roos, Carlton's 26. Kangaroos by 53 points. Carlton sent back to earth. Sent back reality check. You know, the one thing I can say her name and she appears, we believe in Maddie Hendry. You know, Maddie Hendry, like Lulu Field, had great practice match form. There was a few VFW games of Carlton I saw in the back end of the year against Box Hill and another game against Darebin, that's right. Lulu Field, Maddie Hendry, both dominated in both practice matches in the AFLW side and the VFW matches. I'd seen them firsthand up close at those games. In the back line, both of them have been dominating. Maddie has played ruck in her past career. Now playing as a key defender. Is absolutely killing it. A lot of strong marks. She's getting some of the best forwards in the game. She's doing really well, Maddie Hendry. Lulu Field on debut at 11 disposals. Poppy Schultz kicked a goal in 8. Sophie McKay kicked a goal or 2. Played really well. So their young players are doing really well. Dana Finn had another strong game. And she's going to be a contender for All Australian this year. That's how damn good Dana Finn is going. You know, and just like Lily Goss, the Goss. You know, she's 25 years of age, but is Lily Goss, but she's stamping her name in this competition now. May have taken a while, but she's playing bloody well this year, and that's a credit to her work. You know, there's some players that have stepped up for them. So there's good signs for the future. Tara Bohanna was nice in the last quarter. She kicked 2 goals. But overall, they were pathetic. Outclassed by the Roos. Now, we know it's the Roos, but you can't just give them an excuse. They've got lucky Carlton a few times. They played some bottom teams as well and kind of got lucky. They lost a few games, including this game. In fact, this was their second loss now. Yep. But the Roos destroyed them. They were no chance. They were terrible from start to finish. Good signs from the younger players and the names I just mentioned. But outside of those names, there's not much else that done well. Now, that reminds me. Now, this is a segue for just a second. So we're going to get back to reviewing round 6 in just a second. Now, I've highlighted some names, okay? The last few weeks, I'm talking about names like Maggie Gorham and Ali Gavalis and Louise Stevenson and Crystalia Weston-Turner that should look elsewhere out of the Bulldogs. Now, I have some other names I would like to highlight this week. And them names include Beck Privatelli from the Swans, Mia Austin from the Blues, Dana East from the Dockers, and Fleur Davies from the Giants. Beck Privatelli is an experienced key forward for the Swans, 29 years of age. She may well come back into the side this week, but has missed out on the team like 2 or 3 times this year in the 6 rounds. She's a lock to play in most sides. How she hasn't got a game confuses me. She should be looking at a trade. Fleur Davies, a young ruck from the Giants who's been in the competition for a fair while. Obviously, it's well publicised. Her sister Giselle is at the Swans. Darcy is at the Suns. And her younger sister, Georgia Davies, will be potentially number 1 draft pick this year, part of the Gold Coast Academy. Fleur Davies is stuck behind Alicia Dowd and Grace Koss. Now, Grace Koss is injured and may miss this week, but Fleur Davies should be playing every week. She's not played a single game all year. Only just recently been put on the emergency list the last few rounds. She should absolutely look for a trade because I can tell you right now, there's a few teams that are running some rucks in the competition that should not be getting a game. You can make do of who you think I'm talking about. Fremantle, Dana East. You know, the footballer and the person is just simply amazing. Dana East has a lot of charity stuff. There's a lot of, I think it's Whatability. There's a lot of good stuff for that organisation. They're helping people with disabilities. Dana does a great job there. And on the field, she's a really good player as well. She hasn't had a game for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and she should absolutely look at a trade. Can play wing. I cannot believe that all the changes Freo have been making, all these tools that the coach of the Dockers, Lisa Webb, has been playing. I thought, gee, Dana is getting shafted here. She's another one that should look elsewhere. And the one to me that just really, really annoys me the most is Carlton not playing Mia Austin. Mia Austin, at her best, is bloody damn good. Really good. How she's not got a game much this year is nothing short of a disgrace. She's been dropped twice. She's got a booming right foot kick. Again, just like Lulu Field and Maddie Hendry. Same games, those VFW games against Darebin and another VFW game I watched of Carlton and the 2 practice matches in the AFLW. Mia Austin was good and her presence up forward is being missed. Now, Tara Brahanna's coming to the side from Gold Coast and she's playing well and plays the same role as Mia Austin, but they both should be in the side. Now, there was a game Mia got dropped for where she had a good game. There was another game where she was quiet, but there was far worse. But you got to stick at it with Mia Austin. If Carlton are not careful, they will lose her to another club. And if I was the manager of Mia Austin and the other names I've just mentioned, I'd be looking to get out. Mia Austin should look at North Melbourne. Now, this is going to sound stupid because people go, oh, get a game in the North side but getting dropped in the Carlton side. No. Number one, she shouldn't be getting dropped, period. She's a bloody damn good player. And Carlton are going to regret this. If I was me as manager, I'd be saying, get out of Carlton and look at the Roos. She'll play in finals and potentially win premierships as well. I say that because Kate Shearlaw is probably in her last season. Emma King and Kim Rennie, who are rucks that play forward, aren't getting any younger. Some of the other Roos forwards are a bit on the age of 30. And she'll get a game every week. You know, could you imagine Mia Austin playing alongside Alice O'Loughlin and Bella Eddy and Vicky Wall and Blaheem Bogue and Amy Gavin Mangan and Sheila if she's still there. In the second ruck, if it's Rennie or King. Hetherington if she's playing as well. Like, that's a dangerous forward line. Neve Martin if she comes back from Ireland for next season, which is a possibility to happen. Like, you know, sky's the limit. Mia Austin has a future in this competition and she has started her career really well. This year's been in and out and she should look elsewhere. If it's not North Melbourne, I mean, I'd have Mia Austin at the Saints all day, every day. Some support for Jessie Warlaw would be amazing. That's probably the role the Saints lack the most. Support for Jessie Warlaw in the tall department up forward. Not this second ruck stuff, but a genuine forward. I think Mia Austin would fit perfectly at the Saints and a lot of other clubs. But off the top of my head, St Kilda and North Melbourne could do with a Mia Austin in their side. I mean, North Melbourne is stacked already, but long term, because these older players at North are going to retire and they're going to need a plan, and they can't have them all retire at once, and they go, oh shit, who are we going to get? We can't get anyone. So if I was North Melbourne and St Kilda, I'd be heavily looking at targeting Mia Austin for my club because, gee, she's a future star of this competition and she's had a great career so far. Dana East, Rebecca Privatelli, Fleur Davies and Mia Austin all need to look elsewhere. And if I was their management, I'd be advising them to look elsewhere. Fleur Davies should look at Essendon as well. Dana East could get a game anywhere. I think the Giants should look at Beck Privatelli for some support up forward for Zali Goldsworthy. That's just me. Dana East could play anywhere on the wing. So club needing mids, I look at an Essendon. You know, she could fit at Essendon as well. It probably costs a second rounder. Mia Austin would be a late first, maybe even earlier, but I would get it done if it was to bring her across. Early second at worst. A really good player. Mia Austin, Dana East, Fleur Davies, and Beck Privatelli. I've seen Beck Privatelli turn games apart, tear teams apart, sorry. I've seen the signs in Fleur Davies as a ruck could be a good option. Dana East has been a pretty bloody consistent player, as I just mentioned multiple times now. Mia Austin is a gun. A very, very, very good player. Now, let's go back to reviewing round 6, shall we? Let me know your thoughts down below on those names, and would you try and acquire them at your club? Because I absolutely would. And I would love to have all 4 at the Saints, all for different reasons, you know. You know, could you imagine a 4-line 2 just quality at the Saints with Jessie Warlaw, Mia Austin, and Beck Privatelli, along with Ass Richards and Zenos coming back from injury, and Charlotte Baskaran and Amber Clark. Wow, that's an amazing 4-line. I'm probably forgetting some of the top of my head. But yeah. And Dana East on the wing with Charlotte Baskaran and Molly McDonald. Fleur Davies in the ruck over the rucks we've already got. It'll just make our team look even better. and some bargain price players that you might get at a good price from a trade point of view. Yeah, if I'm the Saints, I'm targeting all of those 4 players, in particular Mia Austin and Fleur Davies and Rebecca Puvatelli and Dana East. So there you go. Right, let's go back to reviewing round 6, shall we? Otherwise, we'll be here all night. I cannot sing the praises enough of Mia Austin. Great player. For the Roos, though, Ash Riddell, 44 disposals was amazing. Jazz Garner, 2 goals and 31. O'Loughlin kicked 2 and 10. Amy Smith, a goal and 27. Mia King, 21 disposals, 10 tackles was amazing. Ruby Chapoti, 24 disposals and 5 tackles, absolutely amazing. The whole side, Emma Carney was really good in the back line. An experienced leader, Emma Carney, at the Roos, potentially her last year as well. But, yeah, they got a lot of stars. I feel really bad for the girls at the Roos that aren't getting a game, like Georgia Stubbs, who hasn't debuted yet, who had a lot of injuries last year, or a long-term injury last year, sorry. They kept her out all of last year, the bad ankle injury that she broke in the practice match against the Saints last year. Hasn't debuted yet. Amy Gavin-Mangan played on the weekend as a late replacement for Vicky Wall. In her debut game was good on the weekend. Now if Alice O'Loughlin, it will probably stay in the side, but, he's on the cusp of being dropped just because of their star team. Ariana Hetherington got a game every week at Freo, and she's now back up. Emma King, who's come back from injury but hasn't been picked the last 3 weeks due to form in terms of players not being deserving of being dropped. So yeah, there's a lot of stars at the Roos, and that's why they're so much better than the rest. Freo 56, Essendon 8 points, Freo by 48. Essendon, that was absolutely dog shit. You had a prime opportunity there to beat the Dockers, who are not in good form. They just beat the Eagles, and they were lucky to win that. They've had a shit year. And then Essendon dished out a shit performance like they did against the Saints and Geelong, and now against the Dockers. See, Essendon aren't that good, ladies and gentlemen. That's a news flash for you all. They're not that good. They're simply not good enough. They are a bang average side, and they will always be a bang average side when they don't play well. Yeah, some players that did play well and they have had good seasons are Steph Wales coming back into the side from an ACL injury. Chloe Adams had a good season. Bonnie Toogood had her moments on the weekend, and Maddie Pasparkas as well. And Maggie McLaughlin in the past has been really good, but overall the team were terrible, and Freo were amazing. Georgie Brisbane a goal and 10. Kiara Bowers 21 tackles I mentioned earlier. Gabby Newton a goal and 28. Aisling McCarthy, who's another one who's been underrated this year, who's a sneaky chance for All-Australian this year. Mark my words. Check this back in 6 weeks. Aisling McCarthy is a chance for All-Australian. Kick 2 and 24, she was really good. So the Dockers were dominant. Emma O'Driscoll played a part. Indy West played a part, a young star from Swan Districts. But yeah, watch out. Freo, I got Carlton this week. So Carlton, you have to play at your A game if Freo are going to play like this. Just saying. And not play like you think it's going to happen. Melbourne 74, West Coast 23, Melbourne by 51 points. Really disappointing for the Eagles. I said to a mate pre-game, who you would have saw in the matchday vlog, it was his birthday. Happy birthday to my mate who was in the vlog on the weekend. But, West Coast are a side I thought had gotten past this smashing period. But I said to my mate, look, he thought that his side in Melbourne were going to win comfortably, and they ended up winning comfortably. But I said to him, I have so much faith in the Eagles that they've gone past this phase of having a bad game consistently. But I thought they're probably going to have a game here and there where they're just lacking in one game. They did not adjust to the conditions well at all. And I'm sure Daisy was not happy with that. The effort can't be questioned, but the skill and execution and the decision-making wasn't good for most parts. The effort was there. The decision-making wasn't great. When you got the wind, it was blowing from right to left. So if you're on the right wing, you kick it softly towards the center of the goals if you want to aim for the pocket, so the wind's taking it. Don't overkick it and don't hook it too much. And what they do, they overkicked it, went over players' heads, went the wrong side, it blew away. They kicked on the other side and didn't hit the target. Melbourne just played the ground like they do every week at that ground. Their skill was good. Their precise kicking. They had loose players everywhere. The Eagles couldn't get any of that for most part of the game until the last quarter. The damage was done, you know, and I think Daisy would be saying that. So, like I said with Collingwood earlier, can't question the effort, but the execution, the decision-making, the skill for a lot of it was not there. There was obviously glimpses, and there's players that stand out each week, like Charlie Thomas, Alan Roberts, fantastic. But the presence of Lucia Painter, who's a young leader in that forward line, was severely missed. She missed with delayed concussion. Hopefully Lou's back this week and can reassemble that forward line to being dominant again, like they've done a lot of the times this year. But yeah, Abby Bushby had a really good game, as did Ella Roberts and Charlie Thomas. Jade Britton, she had 12 disposals, playing half forward, is more accustomed to the wing, but she had 8 tackles, and she let them know about it. When Jade went to tackle, she let them know about it and played a really good game, playing as a half forward mainly this week, mainly playing on the wing normally. So the magnets were thrown by Daisy, and, you know, I can't question the effort from the team because the effort was there. You know, Bushby was in the middle. Ella went forward in the last quarter and played well there. Like that's what happened in the Saints game. You know, Roxy Rue played in the back line a little bit where I thought that was different. You know, Eden Zanker, when she kicked 5, she had a lot of matchup changes. I thought Charlie Thomas should have played on her the whole game personally and should have started on her. And I don't believe she played on her at all. There might have been a little moment here and there, but she should have been the one. Annabelle Johnson made her Eagles debut, the former Cat, who I've had on the podcast in the past as well. Saw her after the game, you know, making her debut for the Eagles, a year in the making. Was great to see. She had some really good moments in the second quarter, but she took a good few contested marks. But yeah, and then as for the Demons, Zanker kicking 5 in the first half was everywhere. 3 votes, Eden Zanker, easily. Eliza McNamara in her 50th game had about 24 disposals. She was really good. Kate Hall kicked a few and about 12 disposals in the midfield. Yeah, they got the job done. Alicia Pisano kicked a goal and about 14 disposals. She was a really good list. But yeah, it is what it is. The Eagles will bounce back. I think they'll actually win this week. I think they'll win this week, the Eagles. So we'll have to wait and see there. But on the weekend, they were off, unfortunately. Now, the next game to go through is the Saints. No, it's not the Saints. It's the Bulldogs. No, it's not the Bulldogs. Take 3. It's the Swans 42, the Giants 49. The Giants by 7 points. You know, there was a bit of chirp going through this week from the Swans. Talked a big game and couldn't deliver when it mattered. That's what they did. You know, they got what they deserved, honestly. Talked a big game and they couldn't deliver and they failed. The Giants have won again. The Giants made a meme and as I know the guy that would make the memes for them, which is Jacob Gaynor. If you remember Jacob, who had on the podcast, I think it was this year, no, late last year in 2024, who does their socials for the men's side. Loves doing the podcast with Tom Green on the Giants channel. But the Swans talked a big game and they failed and failed badly. But well done to the Giants. You know, Matty Bresendale, Brodie Mowbray, you know, Zali Goldsworthy, amazing. For the Swans, Laura Gardner played a part, but no major contributors for the Swans, which is disappointing for them. Bulldogs 22, Brisbane 47, Brisbane by 25. Easy victory. I won't say the Brisbane Lions are back because it was only the Bulldogs. Easy win. If they kicked straight at the Lions, this could have been 50 points. You know, Riley Wilcox was the Bulldogs' best player, but not many standouts for the Bulldogs, which is, again, disappointing for them. Congratulations to Izzy Grant, who played her 25th AFLW game. Well done, Izzy. Actually, no, sorry, her 50th. Well done, Izzy Grant. Great milestone and well-deserved. For Brisbane, Ali Anderson and Tay Smith, Davidson and Hodder were some of their better players. The Saints 43, Richmond 36, St Kilda by 7 points. The Swans lost by 7 points. The Saints won by 7 points. An escape for the Saints. They played terrible for 3 quarters. In the last quarter, was got it done. Amber Clark, Charlotte Basker kicked a goal each. As did Ash Richards. And the Saints got the job done in the end, which is great to see. Jamie Lambert, along with T. Smith, along with Jesse Warlaw, played a part. played their part. Georgia Patrikios, a goal in 21 was really good as well. Watto was good. The Saints got the win, and that's all that matters. Ali McKenzie was really, really good for the Richmond Footy Club, along with Gabby Seymour and Izzy Bacon, who's having a consistent second season so far. Now, the next game, the last game, Gold Coast 34, Crows 50, Adelaide by 16 points. You read this and you go, great effort, Suns, really good. They were up by 5 points at halftime. It's like, They were up by about 18 points at 3/4 time and lost by 16. 6 goals in the last quarter to the Crows and none to the Suns. Or maybe 1. Not good enough. You could have had the best upset of the year. You played well for 3 quarters. In the last quarter, shown why they're a bottom side. Pathetic. You know, I wanted them to win. They deserved to win. But the Crows, they haven't been good this year and they're 4th now. Which that just shows Marinoff and Newman and Hatchard and co were good. But McLaughlin, Gervin, Rowbottom deserved a win. Fitzpatrick played really well on the back line. They deserved better, the Suns. They got no one to blame but themselves for choking that game, unfortunately. It's heartbreaking. They played at home, but they couldn't get the job done. And that's just really disappointing. Now let's preview and do my predictions for the round 7 game, shall we? So, the first game to go through is Thursday night, grand final week in the AFL. So Thursday night, 7:15 at GMHBH, Geelong and Hawthorn. I'll be tipping Geelong and won 3 in a row, but not very convincing on the weekend against Port, who aren't that good. Hawthorn have the wood over Geelong lately, but they've been great games. The greatest game I ever attended in the AFLW was Geelong-Hawthorn last year or the year before, when it was like 70 to 60 something. So, or maybe 80 to 68 or something. So, I'll be tipping Geelong in this one by 5 points. Hawthorn by 5 points. Friday, 105 at Casey Fields. It's Melbourne and Gold Coast. Tipping Melbourne this one by 68 points. 3:05 at Windy Hill on Friday. Essendon and North Melbourne. I'll be tipping North Melbourne this one by 80 points. 5:05 p.m. at Icon Park. It's Carlton and Freo. I'll be tipping Freo in this one by 5 points. Friday night at Winton Oval, 7:15 Victorian time. It's the Bulldogs and Collingwood. I'll be tipping the Pies by 20 points. Sunday at Sunday at RSEA Park, Moorabbin, the home of the Saints. 1:05 p.m. on Sunday. It's the Saints and Port Adelaide. I'll be tipping the Saints in this one by 16 points. 3:05 p.m. at Brighton Homes Arena in Brisbane. It's Brisbane and Richmond. I'll be tipping Brisbane this one by 28 points, but hopefully Richmond can get the win. 3:05 p.m. at Thomas Farms Oval in Adelaide. It's Adelaide and Sydney. 3:05 p.m. Victorian time, 2:35 SA time on Sunday. I'll be tipping the Swans in this one. No, Crows in this one by 4 points. Gee, I don't know. Both sides have been awful lately. I'll go the Crows by 4 points only because they're at home. And 5:05 p.m. at Mineral Resources Park in Perth. 5:05 Victorian time, 3:05 Perth time. It's West Coast and the Giants. I'll be tipping the Eagles in this one by 18 points to bounce back. My final thoughts are simply this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. If you want me to roast a friend, wish someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFLW players and you want to see them on the channel in a Goal King challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Thank you all for watching this week's episode of the Scoops AFLW show. Till the next video, go check out all my matchday vlogs. They're on the channel right now. I would really appreciate it. Thank you and go Saints.